Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to 5 Minutes of Torah with a BI Rabbi. As you can see, I'm in a slightly different location than I normally am while I'm here in Australia. Today, I'm not in my apartment overlooking the ocean, but rather I'm in the national offices, that is, of Australia, of the JNF. One of the things that I've really had the pleasure to do while I'm here in Australia is get to know a little bit of the Jewish community. And over the course of the Shabbat of Tu B'Shvat, I had the merit of hearing Yigal, who is the educational shaliach here at the JNF in Sydney, give two divrei Torah, one on Friday night and one on Shabbat morning. And Yigal is going to share with us some words in a story and a little bit about what he does and the JNF does here in Australia. Yigal?
Thank you very much. So my name is Yigal. I'm born and raised in Jerusalem. My parents come from Sweden, Stockholm. They made Aliyah in 1982 to Israel, and I was raised in a very, very Zionist home. My parents told me stories about their involvement in the Jewish communities around the world when they went to the Soviet Union, and undercover, underground, teaching kids, Jewish kids, Hebrew. So I was raised in that feeling. Now, one of the most famous stories that my grandparents share with me was that in Sweden, when my grandfather was a president of the community, the Jewish community in Stockholm, through the years of in the 50s, in the 60s in Sweden, he told me that the majority of the Jewish community in Stockholm came after the Holocaust. Now, we know that during the Holocaust, the German didn't go into Sweden. It was the only country in Scandinavia they didn't go into. And after the Holocaust, through the red buses, many thousands of Jewish survivors came from the camps and came to Sweden. Many of them left to other countries, to Israel, to America, to different countries, but many as well stayed in Sweden. So suddenly the Jewish community became very, very big. And in the latest 60s, there were a family, a couple that was the survivors from Auschwitz, and they had children. They had two children, and they had a daughter. Now the daughter, in the early 20s, met a non-Jewish person, and she came back to her parents and she said, "I want to get married with him." And the parents said, "That's nice, but he needs to convert. If he wants to be a part of our family, he needs to convert to Judaism." Now, her boyfriend came from a very, very Christian family. They lived in the northern city of Sweden, Kiruna, where most of the year it's dark, snowing, and 0% of Jewish people. Now, this boy decided that he wants to convert, not only to be together with his girlfriend, but also he believed inside that he wants to convert to Judaism. He just felt it's the right thing to do. And he shared it with his parents. The parents were very Christians, very active in Christianity, and they said, "Absolutely not. If you're doing that, don't speak with us anymore." And he decided that he wants to go through it. He wants to convert to Judaism. And through the year, he was many times with my grandparents, many times in the Jewish communities as adopted families to him. And after a year, the rabbis around the world in the Bet Din decided that now it's a time that he will actually pass the test, that will come to Sweden, see his knowledge, and he will do, if he passed the test, he will do all the procedure that he needs to do, and then right away get married. And the rabbis in the Bet Din came in 1970, just before Parashat Mishpatim, the same parasha that we're reading now, the next Shabbat, and they came to Sweden, and they were ready on Sunday to start the procedure of this boy to become Jewish. Now, on Shabbat morning, suddenly he saw the boy who was staying in a adopted family. He heard somebody knocking the door, 7 o'clock in the morning. He opened the door, and who do he see in front of his door? He sees his mother. His mother that he haven't seen in the past year, haven't spoke with his parents in the last year. And he was very emotional. Her mother got the invitation of coming to the wedding from his son, but his son he said to his fiancée that he don't expect his parents to come. Now her mother came by herself. She spoke with him and she said to him, "Are you 100% sure that you want to be Jewish, that you want to convert?" And he said, "Yes, I feel that this is the right thing to do." And she responded to him and she said, "Listen, my son, you don't need to convert because you are already Jewish." The story was that his parents came from Auschwitz with the red buses, and they met in one of the camps in Sweden of health camps that they tried to recover from the awful war. And they decided that they were so afraid that this will happen again, the Shoah will happen again. They decided that they will move to the north place in Sweden with no Jewish at all. They will go to join a church. They will not tell their children nothing about Judaism, didn't tell anything to the neighbors, to prevent that the kids, the children, will have maybe and unfortunately to suffer again as the Shoah happened to them. And this boy, their son, moved to Sweden just to study, and he met this girl, a Jewish girl, and he started this conversion. And eventually, with all this, where the parents tried to prevent him to be Jewish, he found the Jewish roots. And this family, this son and the girl, they live today in Israel. They have beautiful kids and good friend of the kids. And you see that the tradition of the Jewish people didn't stop, although they try to do it, but sometimes it's not in our hands. Now, in Parashat Mishpatim, in our parasha, we see that when we got the Torah, the Bnei Israel said, "Na'aseh v'nishma." We do first, and then we listen. And I think that if we compare it to our generation where we are kids, and we ask, and we are getting told from our parents to do first, and then we can ask questions if we may. But first we need to do. Why? Because the parents knows exactly what is good for us. They know that if they tell us what to do, it's for our good. And this is what Hashem tried to teach us. We should ask questions, but we should first do. We should connect to our roots. We should connect to our community. We should be very active, and we should ask questions, absolutely. But it's not enough only to say that we are Jewish. We need also to be active. When I go through the schools, all the schools in Australia, both private and public schools, and I meet Jewish kids, they look up and they're thirsty just to hear about knowledge, not only about the past of Israel, but also about the present and the future of Israel. And I see inside of them, when they ask me questions, that just maybe a second of the time, maybe once, they feel proud. They feel proud to be Jewish, and they feel proud about the state of Israel. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the story and the Torah.
So one of the things that I love about being here is participating in the Jewish community, and certainly the JNF is part of the Jewish community, not only here, but in Vancouver as well, and is a supporter of Israel, and is critically important for the entire Jewish people. And in fact, this coming weekend is a major fundraiser for the JNF in Vancouver, and one of the things that they're going to be fundraising for is for Israel. And specifically, when I was in Israel just a few months ago, I was on the border of the Gaza Strip. And there on the border of the Gaza Strip, when I was on a kibbutz on this border, I saw the vulnerability of the people who are living on the kibbutz, and the JNF in Vancouver is fundraising actually to place trees along that border in order to protect the Jewish people of Israel, not only in Israel, but ultimately as a supporter of the Jewish people around the world. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.